Alrighty, so I found a list online of guys who didn't get qualified, and I thought, you know what, there's an interesting discussion here to be had because there's going to be players where you go, wait, they didn't get a qualifying offer? Alright, unrestricted free agents are unrestricted free agents. As of July 1st, they can go wherever they want. Players under a certain age or with less than a certain amount of experience are restricted free agents. But, you know that ugly thing I've been talking about for years, arbitration? Yeah, if a guy's eligible for arbitration, apparently there's a new way to deal with it. Roll the dice. Don't give them a qualifying offer, and if you don't give them a qualifying offer, you don't have to worry about arbitration. So what Dallas did today with Ryan Hartman, and that was the rumor, was that they want Hartman, they want him as part of the roster, but they don't want to go through an arbitration process, so by not giving him a qualifying offer, by not offering him any sort of contract whatsoever, he's a UFA on July 1st and they'll take their chances. I don't like their chances. And the interesting thing, of course, is Ryan Hartman was traded and had no idea. He's on vacation. He was in an area where he had no cell reception, and he had no idea that he was a member of the Dallas Stars. We all found out before he did, and now it may never happen. Now, who didn't get qualified? Anaheim didn't qualify Jake Dotchin. So Tampa, if you want him back, I'm kidding. Arizona didn't qualify Nick Cousins. Calgary, no qualifying offers for Curtis Lazar. Kirby Reichel, so that's a first-round draft pick, or two. I believe Lazar was a first-round draft pick as well. Mason McDonald, who at one point looked like he might become a number two at the NHL level. It hasn't really happened for him, obviously. Colorado did not qualify Sven Andrighetto or Mason Geertsen. Sorry, I don't know where the D came from there. But that's Geertsen. Andrighetto's a bit of a surprise, but he had a down year. I remember when Colorado got him, and he had a really good run after they got him at the deadline, and I said he's not a top six forward. I took some heat for that, but I've kind of been borne out. So there are times where I say things, and they happen. Dallas, of course, Ryan Hartman, and then some people may be surprised by Brett Ritchie. I'm not. Brett Ritchie's been given opportunities by Dallas, and it's just not working. I still think Brett Ritchie's young enough. Somebody's going to give him a contract and give him a chance, but it was not working in Dallas. Martin Ferk, the guy with no vowels in his last name, not qualified by Detroit, again, due to his youth, and there's still something there. Somebody, I think, will see something. I'm not ruling out a return to Detroit. They just didn't give him a qualifying offer. I'd be very interested to know how many of these guys were eligible for arbitration, because this may be a new thing. The Oilers shockingly did not qualify Toby Reeder. If Ken Holland wanted to prove he stands on his own, he's his own man, he should have qualified Toby Reeder and said, there, we're keeping Reeder. Ty Ratty being on the list is only noteworthy because as recently as the preseason for the one that we just finished, Ratty was counted on as being potentially a top six forward for the Oilers, and there was a lot of potential seen there, and then it just didn't come to pass. Florida, here comes the butcher job. Henrik Haapala has not been given a qualifying offer by Florida. I'm guessing he's going to go back to Europe if he hasn't signed there already. He was brought over with the idea that he might give them a bit of a scoring off the wing situation, and it just didn't work. I didn't play for Florida this year, played in the minors. LA did not qualify Brandon Leipsic. So for Canuck fans, it might have felt like, how dare you, Jim Benning, we should have got something for Leipsic. The Kings couldn't get anything for him either. Nikita Sherbak, he's another first-round draft pick that just hasn't worked out. Leipsic was a first-rounder too, wasn't he? There are a number of first-rounders on the board here, and it just goes to show, Hartman being one as well, just goes to show that sometimes they make it to the league and then they don't actually develop into what you expect, and then they become expendable. Minnesota, Pontus Aberg stands out because, of course, he came over in a trade this season and he didn't earn himself a position on the roster for next year. Montreal did not qualify Hunter Shinkaruk. So for Canuck fans who desperately want to undo the Marcus Granlund trade, and I don't think there's any left, they could do it right now if they wanted to. San Jose did not qualify Joakim Ryan. Ryan's going to get a contract in the NHL. I think he's still got that possibility. Toronto, noteworthy among Toronto's, was Jordan Subban. So Jordan Subban is an unrestricted free agent on July 1st. I'll be very interested to see if anybody offers him a tryout. New Jersey may. I mean, look, they just picked up PK, right? So they may turn around and give Jordan a tryout. Heck, maybe they call Vegas and say, what do you want for Malcolm? Maybe they try to put the Subban brothers together. But in Jordan's case, it would probably just be a PR thing more than a talent thing. You could argue Malcolm Subban still has the ability to be a backup goaltender in the NHL and just needs a change of scenery from Vegas. But Jordan just, it's not there at the NHL level. But again, we'll see what happens July 1st. Vancouver, noteworthy. Brendan Gaunce, who was a first-round draft pick, he's out. Marcus Granlund, I know he had arbitration rights and qualifying him would have been expensive. I don't think this means he's out of Vancouver. I think they're just going to circle back when he's an unrestricted free agent and offer him a value deal. And I wouldn't be surprised if he took it. Derek Pouliot, worst kept secret is that they're not bringing him back. And, of course, Ben Hutton, which I reported yesterday. Washington, Dmitry Askin stands out. He was a first-round draft pick, I believe, as well. Derek Pouliot was a first-round draft pick, too. Winnipeg, first-round draft pick. Marco Dano, who bounced around the league a bit to get to Winnipeg, and it just hasn't worked out at the NHL level. And, of course, as I reported earlier today, Joe Morrow, who was a first-round draft pick, and Nathan Beaulieu, who was a first-round draft pick of the Montreal Canadiens back in the day. Morrow was a first-round draft pick of Pittsburgh, I believe. Yeah, so there you go. Those are just the noteworthy ones. There were others as well. But those are the ones that I thought were noteworthy. These are all unrestricted free agents on the 1st of July. And if you can't get excited about these guys, I totally understand. But if you're a contending team, you can pick a couple of guys off this list that may help you with your fourth line. They may help you depth-wise. Maybe it's an Andrighetto. Maybe it's a Granlund. Maybe it's Hutton. Maybe it's Morrow. These are the kind of guys that can be value signings while everybody's gushing over the $8, $9, $10, $11 million a year free agents. It might be these value guys that fill out your roster. That means that when you get to hockey games in the playoffs in May and June, these guys can step in and play a good role if they need to during injury issues. And that can get you over the top. Just look at what St. Louis was able to do, what Boston was able to do, Carolina was able to do as examples. And yeah, even San Jose to some extent. Eventually, injuries wore them down. But in the other three cases especially, when somebody got injured, you'd throw somebody into the lineup who could carry their weight. So that's important. And at least one of these guys on the board, I'm guessing, has a bounce back year next year. I'm looking at Toby Reeder. He kind of sort of has to after being thrown under the bus so badly and so often by first Bob Nicholson and then by everybody else. So we'll see what happens. Let me know which name on the list stands out to you. Again, the Ryan Hartman situation is kind of why I thought, let's take a look at this. How many guys weren't qualified today and potentially why, which could be GMs don't want to deal with an arbitrator. They don't want to deal with a wild unknown as in terms of what they might have to pay somebody, especially when the salary cap's not going up as much as they thought it would. So some of these guys may very well be out of work, in part because of the lower cap. It affects everything. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through and you just happened upon this video. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.